try to holler, she gon' curve him. We came from under rugs like a Persian. We been staying in our lane, ain't no merging. Rapping like I'm turban. Yeah, these all square like Irvin. Yeah, we grew up in the hood, no Suburbans. If I say I need my money, then it's urgent. Yeah, they want me to quit. Yeah, they want me to shift. But as long as I'm alive, we gon' keep on making hits. While they steady shooting bricks, man, it's lit. Yeah, it's lit. Me and Dill back to back, and yeah, I'm dishing the assist. Yeah, they talk a lot of but we really with this lame. Always gonna be reaching for they hit, smoking like a clip. They can never catch me slipping. Every time your girl around, she be watch the way I'm dripping.
Try your luck, test me in again, we let it ring. Please don't start us up. Got that black and white, they yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell her park it up, then that be poking out them jeans up and sparking up. Like the fireworks, I keep the flame. Heard you parking up. This the wrong tree, I got the strings. Yeah, I'm charging up. They can't keep up, got them looking drained. Now they walking up, trying to put the face to the name. I'm in flex mode with the best though. That's a chess move. I'm your favorite G, I think it's best. Yo. Stop with all the grilling, I'm on jet fuel. Taking off, clear the runway, now they cannot clip my wings. Yeah, they soft, they ain't homie, they ain't even on the scene. Play it smart, they don't know me, they just know what they see. What it costs to get flea, but this style ain't free. It's that swag, just that splash, one wrong move, that's do the dash, keep a stash, just in case they tryna flash. Never lie, we don't slack, tell her eyes running back. I don't brag, I'm relaxed, I'm not into all of that, yeah. It's really just a fam and my dogs, I just gotta make a call. I ain't into all that chatting, not at all. Yeah, I put that on the squad, we been out here going hard. We on deck, please don't make them. But try your luck, test me in again, we let it ring. Please don't start us up, got that black and white, that yin and yang. Mr. Officer, please don't search us, we don't got a thing. Tell her park it up, then that be poking out them jeans up and sparking up. Like the fireworks, I keep the flame. Heard you parking up, it's the wrong tree, I got the strings. Yeah, I'm charging up, they can't keep up, got them looking drained. Now they walking up, trying to put the face to the name.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
It is Thursday, May 6, 2021. Good morning to everyone across all the platforms tuning in. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the above. Shout out to everyone in the chat rooms, everyone who's supporting us. Good morning. James Bubba Williams and Rebecca Azor is in the house. Good morning, everybody.
Rebecca Azor is definitely in the house. And I know that you guys have missed me in the mornings, but here I am. It feels so good to be with you guys and say,
y'all missed it. Who missed her?
Right. Child, we ain't missed you, child.
I know the audience is right in the chat room. Everybody's cheering.
Ben wanted to make sure I came on time because he wanted to make sure. He's like, "Yo, Rebecca, what time you coming in today?" I said I was coming on time. I'm coming on time.
That's not what I said. I said what time you pull it up. So
that's what he said. Same difference. Yeah, same difference, sir.
See, it's like it's a choice of words. I know if I say pulling up, it's not as aggressive as saying, "Hey, what time you gonna be on time today?" No, see.
Yeah. All right. So, but I did say that I took these mornings off so that I could be here. I am happy to be here. So, what's up? It's Thursday. It's Friday, Junior. Okay, so how's the energy? How's the energy?
The energy is great. Actually, I didn't realize it, but the producers just put in our notes this morning that yesterday was our 50th episode of Like It or Not.
Well, it's our anniversary.
We out here grinding.
Anniversary.
Days. Yep.
Yes, 50 already. 50 episodes. Oh my God. And I only been to about 3 of them.
Right. And look, we already
you've been to way more than 3 of them, but you've been on time to about 3 of them.
Yeah, probably maybe about 2.5.
Hey, and we already got a super chat. OG says, "I miss Becca."
Oh, I missed you too.
Let's go ahead and restart this stream. Let me restart the stream without Rebecca.
Thank you guys. Look, see, you guys are my joy this morning. The audience is definitely my joy, and I'm happy to have my two fellas near me, Ben and Bubba, wearing their gray on today. Ben had originally, because all the businesses out, Ben originally had on his salmon suit
salmon.
or a suit top. And so
you fine with saying salmon, because I that's
salmon.
one word
Who
I
is
cannot
out
get
here
the
saying
L
the
in
L in the
salmon.
salmon?
I cannot get the L in salmon. I cannot. I think it's
But
silent.
how you say it?
Sam. I'm saying Sam
Salmon.
like as in salmon.
But when you say Sam, you almost hear the L in it like that. When you have a country
Selma.
accent, you say
Selma.
salmon.
Yeah, but it was
There's an
clashing
L
with your
in there.
red. It was clashing with your red. I was like, nah, I gotta change it, put on something that blends in a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's
So.
Also, so there's a 50th. It was Pepto-Bismol is what they call it. Also, so in addition to our 50th episode yesterday, tomorrow night we will be having a patron party, and we expect all the new patrons, all of you, and all the current patrons. Obviously, we have quite a few who show up every single time we do a patron party. It's a Zoom party where DJ Exclusive spins through the night, and I do my best. DJ Exclusive is DJ Bubba Williams. Just in case anybody's
It's
don't
Bubba.
know.
It's James.
It's Bubba.
Right.
He'll be there
Everybody.
spinning. I do my honest best to stay as long as I possibly can, but somewhere right about midnight, late in the midnight hour, I probably will be. I'll probably be dozing off a little bit, but the party honestly goes on sometimes to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Without you, right?
2 o'clock.
Because
Yeah,
I
we went on
literally
to
get
2
off of
o'clock
work.
last time.
And I be trying, y'all. I'm gonna try to make it on Friday for about an hour with y'all.
Right,
But the
Rebecca, I'll be
sleep
playing
that kills
music
me
for you and
after I log
everything.
off the job.
Rebecca ain't gonna make it.
She ain't
I'm
gonna make it.
Actually,
tired,
no.
y'all.
Let's do this. Let's say Rebecca's gonna make it, so everybody else can come. You know, Rebecca pull up, everybody gonna pull up. So,
Right,
Rebecca, you need to
will
be there
be at the
tomorrow.
party. Yes,
What time
Rebecca
it
will
start?
be-
What
and
time
I
it start?
need
8
all the
o'clock?
patrons there.
Yeah,
It start at 8?
No. We're gonna probably start around 9. What say you, James? 9:30.
9:30.
So I'll let you guys know.
The
It's
party
not a
jump off at 9:30.
promise. It's not a promise because I do have rehearsals. So just to make sure if I don't have
Rehearsal?
rehearsals. Yes.
You going out and you ain't vaccinated yet?
I told you I have rehearsal. That's how I make my extra money to pay my bills. Yeah.
You tell all them people to put on masks around you singing and spraying with
No, we're
their
gonna be
vocals.
separated. We're gonna be separated from these people.
And just they really get into it. Those droplets go everywhere. Like, they hit a good run. Ooh.
Bruh, I hate being dude. I hate being with a passion.
I'm currently on quarantine, by the way. I'm on quarantine because some backwoods Bama conservative potentially exposed me to it. So I'm just looking out for my sister. That's all. I just want to make sure that she don't.
Yeah, I know. And he's gonna. I'm gonna be fine. I promise I'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of COVID, I want to jump right in here. A team of experts from the CDC has concluded that by the end of July, COVID-19's toll on the U.S. will fall sharply. However, they are also warning that there may be a substantial increase in hospitalizations and deaths if those who selfishly chose not to get vaccinated do not follow basic COVID precautions like wearing a mask indoors and social distancing. That being said, under the most optimistic scenarios, by this recent CDC report, by the end of July, new weekly totals could drop below 50,000 hospitalizations to fewer than 1,000, and then deaths between 200 and 300. Now, for comparison, we are currently averaging about 350,000 new cases each week, 35,000 hospitalizations, and over 4,000 deaths. So if people abide by the rules, we can save a lot of lives and avoid quite a few hospitalizations and even more infections. At present, almost 146 million people have received at least one dose of the vaccine, with 41% of adults nationwide being fully vaccinated. At a press conference on Wednesday, where President Biden gave updates on the pandemic and the national vaccination campaign, Biden made a plea to vaccine skeptics watching. Let's take a look at it.
I've been saying this a long time, but I really believe this is not a Democrat or a Republican issue. Science behind the vaccines has been under development for decades. 2 of our vaccines were authorized under prior administrations, Republican administrations. My administration, the Democratic administration, is doing the work to get hundreds of millions of shots in arms. While we may not always agree on everything, this is one thing people across the political spectrum can agree on. So I want to thank prominent conservatives like Mitch McConnell, and a large group of Republican members of Congress who've medical training, who have advanced getting vaccinated. I also want to thank the 105 million Americans of every background who are fully protected from one of the deadliest pandemics in our history. You know, there's a lot of misinformation out there, but there's one fact I want every American to know. People who are not fully vaccinated can still die every day from COVID-19. Look at the folks in your community who've gotten vaccinated and are getting back to living their lives, their full lives. Look at the grandparents united with their grandchildren, friends getting together again. This is your choice. It's life and death. And I hope everyone knows within themselves it makes the choice that it's going to help them and their loved ones be safe, get our businesses open again, and get us back to normal.
Now, we've been talking extensively about the vaccine apartheid and the fight to get the patent waived so that nations in the global south can develop generic versions of the vaccine so that they can prevent mass death in their nations. But soon after the press conference, Biden's trade representative to the World Trade Organization announced a major shift in prior U.S. policy, at least by the sound of it. U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai announced on Wednesday that the U.S. will, quote, actively participate in text-based negotiations at the World Trade Organization in order to draft a new waiver that could allow countries all over the world to produce their own generic versions of pre-existing COVID vaccines. As a result, shares of Pfizer, BioNTech, Novavax, and Moderna shares plunged on Wall Street. In other words, the news that the United States was going to share or waive the patent control over the vaccines actually was a negative thing for the businesses, while it is an immensely positive thing for the people across the world, which shows you, Rebecca and James, that there is a disconnect between what's in the best interest of these corporations that are developing and now profiting off of the vaccine and what's in the best interest of the people. So by Joe Biden and his administration now coming full circle, which is actually a good turn. We played the clip yesterday of Anthony Fauci discussing why he opposed waiving the patent because he didn't feel like the world should get tied, the nations of the world rather should get tied up in the legal fights over the patents. And we should just find some other way to make sure those nations get what they need. And it was generally the feeling that the Biden administration was not going to support waiving the patents. Well, now it sounds like they will. And the devil's in the details. We don't know exactly to what extent they're going to waive it. Is it going to be along the lines of what South Africa was asking for, the group of people who gathered, the nations that gathered and originally suggested that they should waive these vaccines? I don't know the details, but the willingness, just the willingness alone for the Biden administration to waive these patents so that India, South Africa, other nations can get access to the vaccine for cheaper, that sent these companies' stocks plunging. And quite frankly, good, because they shouldn't be profiting. They already showed Pfizer has made around $3.5 billion off the vaccine already. Isn't that enough? Apparently not. What you think, Rebecca?
It just, it's crazy how they plummeted. But it does show signs of, what can happen when that conversation is started, when they're like, okay, there's money to be made, but the money is so much more important than people, because that was bigger news. So money is so much more important than people. But when I look at and I hear what's going on in other countries around the world, it's crazy how, India right now is going through what they're going through. And it would be great for us to assist them and help them. But it's just like, it's all at the same time. It's like, what will be the cost to get assistance from America? Like, what's the trade-off once we give them assistance? And what's the trade-off? Is it like, I don't know. I just worry about everything that's going on right there. But I do want for those people to get the assistance they need in other countries that need the assistance as well. It's interesting, though. An article came out yesterday, or not yesterday. It could have been yesterday, actually. An article came out not too long ago about Haiti being one of the the countries with the least deaths when it comes to COVID. They got to do what they got to do. It's very interesting, though. It's just very interesting in the country that does the most. We're here. That does the most. Can't never get it right? Just got all access to stuff. We the ones that just can't get it right. And other countries are doing what they can, doing holistic things or whatever to try to figure out life. And they have to be out. They are very essential, right? But then you got all these, you got America who just can't get it right. People dying left to right. And with India, I really feel bad because it's almost like they don't, in particular places, because I can't say it's all of it, but in those particular places, they don't have control of this damn virus, and it's just killing folks off. And if we can assist as best as we can, let's do that. Just like when we first had our pandemic growing in numbers, and we just didn't understand how to stop it. Other countries was like, hey, here you go for the free. Yeah. No charges. Hey, you want to know what we did? You want to know what things that we put in, like what medicine that we had? And Trump was like, nah, we don't need all that. We're going to create our own. Like, all of that. It's just, we roll different. We built different. It's terrible.
And what's bad is they're saying that Joe Biden said he won't want to wait till Americans have their vaccines and get everything done, but we see everything slowing down and we wasting all these doses. Let's go ahead and send all of this stuff over to India, man. It makes no sense that they have to struggle the way they're struggling right now.
It's really bad. To see it is worse. It's like see worse. It and watching them with those rusty oxygen.
It's a mess.
It's just, they're trying their best to get what they can, and it's just literally just for like, that's it, nothing else more, nothing that's constant. Like we've seen people get their oxygen machines or whatever, and they, it's for that person. This is just everybody get a hit, and then and that's enough for them. These people literally cannot breathe, and that.
James, you just reminded me of the fact that Walgreens has wasted more vaccines than some states, right? And that's just that's life. Those are lives. And we have a combination of stupidity in this country and hoarding, and we have so many people who are trying to ensure that we don't get fully vaccinated. The same people who were talking last year about, we need herd immunity. Their recommendation for herd immunity was everybody to just go out and whoever gets it and survives, whoever dies. That's their sociopathic definition of herd immunity. That was Fox News. That was Donald Trump. That was all the Republicans, conservatives. And now they're convincing people to not get the vaccine, which is going to prevent us from getting to herd immunity. And so in the midst of the stupidity, the combination of the stupidity and the hoarding, there are millions of vaccines that are going to waste because we're not sharing them with the world, and because of the level of stupidity that's in this country, because so many people are not trying to get this vaccine because of the level of stupidity that comes from Fox News. And we have a lot to cover. Tunde, if I want to go to C1, because I think this is the best example, right, of how Fox News, how their influence 100% impacts what's happening right now with COVID-19. And their chief propagandist, Tucker Carlson, how he absolutely has had a significant impact on the number of people who don't believe the vaccine is the way to go or think people shouldn't wear masks. In the month of April, Tucker Carlson's primetime Fox News show was the most watched cable news show, averaging 3 million viewers each night. Overall, Fox News attracted a much larger audience of 2.2 million viewers than MSNBC, which only averaged about 1.6 million viewers, and CNN with only 1 million viewers. So in other words, the message that is an anti-vaccination message and an anti-mask wearing message is going out to millions more people through Fox News than even MSNBC or CNN. Now, all three of these major networks have seen huge drops in their audience sizes since Trump was president. CNN's ratings dropped 47% as compared to last year, while Fox News is down by 39% and MSNBC is down by 22%. But Tucker's wide reach and influential platform have sped out into the real world with grave consequences. Here's a Tucker Carlson clip from last week, where he declared wearing a mask to be, quote, child abuse. Take a look.
Masks prevent intimacy and human contact. If I can't see your face, I can't know you. Masks are for the guilty. They're signifiers of shame and submission. Until recently, many jurisdictions had laws against wearing masks in public. Only Klansmen and armed robbers wore masks. The rest of us showed our face. We were free people. But then we gave in to the demands of people like Eric Garcetti, and because we did give in, this grotesque version of Halloween went on for more than a year, and it's still going on. Not even Tony Fauci still pretends that masks are medically necessary. Instead, masks are purely a sign of political obedience, like Kim Il-sung pins in Pyongyang. We wear them because we have to. The only people who wear masks voluntarily outside are zealots and neurotics. How neurotic are they? Well, we know. A Pew survey from last March found that 64% of white Americans who classify themselves as liberal or very liberal have been diagnosed with an actual mental health condition. And you see them everywhere when you walk down the street in any major city. If you dare to go on foot from Union Station to the Capitol, for example, in Washington without wearing a mask, angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind the gauze. How could you? That's the question we should be asking of them in return. The rest of us should be snorting at them first. They're the aggressors. It's our job to brush them back and restore the society we were born in. So the next time you see someone in a mask on the sidewalk or on the bike path, do not hesitate. Ask politely but firmly, would you please take off your mask? Science shows there is no reason for you to be wearing it. Your mask is making me uncomfortable. We should do that, and we should keep doing it until wearing a mask outside is roughly as socially accepted as lighting a Marlboro in an elevator. It's repulsive. Don't do it around other people. That's the message we should send because it's true. As for forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal. Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart. Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it. If it's your own children being abused, then other. Masks prevent intimacy and human.
Now, listen. This is what is being heard by the most viewers across any news platform every single night. And if you want to see the real impact of it, on Tuesday during a school board meeting in Florida, a woman loudly interrupted the meeting by shouting about how masks are, you guessed it, child abuse. Same as the language that Tucker Carlson used in the video that we just watched. Let's take a look at this mad woman.
We don't need to. The science said we don't need to. We're gonna go out the door right here on the right. We do not need masks for our kids. It's child abuse. Do not. You're being escorted. Take the masks off our kids. Thank you for your feedback. I apologize.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Hey, look, we had some excitement, but we'll keep moving on.
And it gets even worse. Elsewhere on Fox News, Brian Kilmeade couldn't quite help but to condescend to a sixth grader who asked a question about school reopenings in the wake of COVID-19. Let's take a look.
How close are you to getting back in the room? What do you miss most about not being in school?
I miss most, obviously, seeing my friends and all the after-school activities that I've done. And I think that we're very, very close getting back to school. And I think that the way that our new president is handling things is a very good way, and we would not have gone to this if it were still the last president.
Really? That's hard to believe because the last president was saying, I want every kid back in school. So, Lily, for you, what is your hope knowing the numbers are going down and the governor might be opening up?
Wait, bruh.
Bring everybody back on the screen. This man really got in his feelings over a sixth grader.
Rebecca's face say it all. Rebecca's face
with
says
a kid, though, like
with a kid,
child who had his little feelings, and his feelings are his feelings, and you're gonna try to attack the little kid like he's an analyst on this show as a regular. He's a sixth grader, and he just told you how he felt. He believes in what the new president, Joe Biden, is doing as far as for the people, and you shut him down because you didn't like his response, old man. Like, those people have no heart. They will chew anybody in their way alive and spit them out. And then he tried to go to the next little girl to see if her comment or whatever she was going to say was going to match up with Fox News's rhetoric. But you see, God don't like ugly. He thought
they dangerous, man. That channel.
Why would you ask him that? And he give you his honest answer. Like that was from his little 6th grade heart. And that was his honesty. And that was his truth. Why would you do that?
Because he couldn't possibly, Brian Kilmeade, that is absolutely right. Kilmeade could not allow a positive statement or even a tangentially positive statement about Joe Biden to go across the screen because, that's the agenda of Fox News. They are they got the most viewers. And that's how people are dying, man. They don't want you to wear a mask, but they don't want you to really get the vaccine, because they're downplaying it, even though every single one of them are fully vaccinated. Tucker Carlson is fully vaccinated, and he's not going to be in public with. Listen, if he is the person that we know him to be, this man probably won't even stand on an elevator with somebody, even if they're wearing a mask, because he's afraid of getting COVID-19. But every single night, what does he do? What does Fox News do every single day? They make sure that they undermine mask wearing and they undermine the confidence in the confidence in the vaccine. And here they are, the biggest platform. So if we're not coming out, if this ain't over by 2022, Fox News has a direct impact on that.
Tunde is speaking as the voice of God from Slack. From Slack. He said. Well, he said, he's like, to be fair, he was talking to somebody he felt that was on his level.
Talking about Kilmeade.
That was a good one too, Nate.
Now, that was good, but you're disrespecting the kid. The kid's looking like, listen, clearly, he could never be on my level. Clearly. But that's funny.
These are the people in charge, in charge of the country. These are the people who want to run the country, man. This country ain't gonna last, man. It cannot possibly last with that level of stupidity. Pettiness, conspiracy theory, and just childishness every day.
Just straight disrespect. It's almost like, why do you guys have the kids on, first of all, to appeal to who? What are we doing?
They want to reopen. I'm sorry, that pissed me off, because they had those kids on there to try to sway public opinion that we should forcibly reopen all these public schools, which is going to get more people killed. But these some sociopaths, bro. We dealing with folks who are killers.
To me, they had the kids on there to sell that idea that, even kids don't want to wear masks. Even kids don't want to be they want to be back at school with their friends, and they want to go back to the rhetoric that they pushed that may have had mad millions of views from Tucker Carlson, and that was that it is child abuse.
Did you just say Tuckums?
But that could have been because of my braces. But
no, that's what Joy-Ann Reid called him and read him for Phil.
That's funny. I never got to watch it, but I believe that she did read him for Phil.
Yeah.
But it's just like Fox News. No matter how much we cry about it, well, not cry, but no matter how much we read in their rights, no matter how much of platforms like with Joy-Ann Reid, and even here on our show, we can continuously talk about them. And I'm glad that we do, because people do hear us and people do hear Joy-Ann Reid. But it's never going to be enough for the cult. It's never going to be enough for the cult. They're always going to be surviving like roaches, surviving earthquakes and God rebuilding the world, or the Big Bang Theory, or whatever. Coming on the boat
bomb survival.
Like, why did Noah pick the roach and the spiders and stuff to come on the damn boat? We didn't want those animals. Like, what the hell? But they're almost
that's
like
Fox
that.
News.
They're inevitable. But when we see them, what we're going to do is what we do always. Kill them, smash them, spray them down.
Exactly.
We're gonna make sure that we can. But things they don't go away.
Listen, the issue is that they have the most money to be heard by the most people. Comparatively speaking, Ben Shapiro at one time was spending $100,000 a month advertising on Facebook to get his message out there, which is about the same, almost identical to that of Tucker Carlson, right? And so they have the money, they have the resources, and they have the influence to create more cockroaches, like you said, Rebecca. Like it's a never-ending process of having to chase down their lies and chase down their conspiracy theories, and we're doing so with like one hand tied behind the back. And MSNBC, like, you know, okay, but y'all are not fighting. Like the best segment we got was Joy-Ann Reid's rebuttal to Tucker Carlson, and it's like if these platforms and CNN, they MSNBC and CNN do not fight at the level that Fox News fights. And you can't be in this fight with your hand behind your back, and Tucker Carlson and Fox News, they playing for keeps. Like they're trying to end the game. They're trying to end all of this. They're like, they would rather see America burn than to ever allow it to become under the control of Black people or brown people or marginalized communities. So if y'all are not fighting at that level, then how do you ever expect to actually push back against the stuff that Fox News is doing? It just blows my mind. I don't know.
And y'all did notice that all those kids were white, right?
Oh yeah, you know.
And that was okay because they could have. Go ahead.
And they about to say the way they flipped it back on his ass. The other little girl agreeing with the dude, like, yep, that's right.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, he's right. Yeah,
F-45.
Oh man, I can't believe that dude, that grown ass man, had to try to
fight the little boy. Imagine if he was in the little studio. He probably would have got off and rammed that little boy right out to sea, talking about he slipped. Oh, he was so mad.
Oh man.
I know you guys can imagine him Kilmeade just turning around and saying, what that little boy said, and literally running him down. Like,
oh man, you know what? I can't close this segment out. David, do me a favor. Grab the video that's going around of Tucker Carlson getting roasted by Jon Stewart. Because it's at the level. We'll do it after the break, but it's the level. This is the level of fight that we have to have against these people. And we don't see it, but every blue moon. We don't see it. Like Joy-Ann Reid did her clip yesterday, and that was cool. And Jon Stewart, but this is back in 2004, he did this. And these people have been able to use their money to grow their platforms to the point where they're speaking to more people than any of us combined. You can damn near combine MSNBC and CNN. They're not talking to as many people as Tucker Carlson is talking to every single night. And just for one more little bit of context, personal context, I said this yesterday, I'm gonna say it again. Every single thing that man who was in the emergency room with me, who was not wearing a mask, everything that he said was literally the same talking points as Tucker Carlson. Just like that wild woman that was in the clip that we just watched, who came out saying that it was child abuse. These people, Tucker Carlson, Fox News, they have too much power and too much influence for there not to be a counterbalance. There has to be other voices that can reach that level. And without it, man, I think we're lost. But anyway, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to play this clip of Tucker Carlson getting roasted by Jon Stewart, and then we have a whole lot more stories to cover. More Like It or Not after this.
Good morning again, everyone. It is your boy, your DJ James, my boy. It's better known as DJ Exclusive, y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying the show thus far. Make sure that you stay tuned. Can't let the start of the show go by without saying good morning, Mom and Daddy, and good morning, Sensation. And before we get into some of this good music, we're going to read off our new patrons, y'all. It's a lot of them, so stay tuned and stay with me here, okay? Make sure that you hit that like button, hit the like button, and also make sure that you share with at least 10 of your closest friends. All right, y'all, here we go. New patrons for today. We have High Anxiety Dragon Girl, Colina H, Jessica G, William M, who increased their pledge. We have S. Gaynor, LOEG, Simone S, Kayla J, Michael H, MJA. All right, party with me. Hey, come party with me. Claudia M, Lisa B, Mark S, shout out to y'all. Lizette C, Kathleen C, Jerry G, Rebecca F. I think this is the second or third Rebecca that we've had in the past few days. Carolina, Jennifer G, Leon S, Mia T, Annie G, Clarence H. Man, this music, I like this. Oya A, Jeanette B, Chris U, CBM, and Cameron M increased their pledge. Cameron M, thank you so much. And our new Twitch subscribers, we have Tron22 who subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much for all our new patrons, y'all. We appreciate your support. And you too can become a patron as well too. Go to patreon.com/likeItOrNot, patreon.com/likeItOrNot, and also make sure that you join, y'all. Also follow us on social media, Like It or Not. What is it? Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook. Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook, y'all. Let's see if we can get a song in real quick before we come back. Here we go. Hey. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're streaming from, YouTube, y'all. We love you and thank you so much. Make sure that you stay tuned, y'all. We got more Like It or Not coming up. Chuck Diesel, shout out to you, Chuck Diesel, Lisa, Nat A, Nat M, everybody that's in the building this morning. Purple Rain Hearts, yes I do, it's one of my favorite ones. Josie 100, good morning, Tiger, good morning, son. Daniel, good morning, Daniel. Laura, good morning, Avery, good morning. Savage Sweetheart, good morning. Fairy Girl, good morning to you. It Get a Nine, brother, good morning. Lou Kane wins. Good morning. Shout out Infinite Content. Mark S. Good morning. Nick, good morning. Paige, good morning. It's Truth the Dragon. Good morning. Gwen, where you going? Good morning, Lisa. Y'all, welcome back to the screen. Rebecca and Ben.
Hey. Somebody said in the chat room that feels like family cookout vibes, that song.
Right. Don't let your ex be at the cookout. I'm going to be doing my steps real hard. I'm going to miss you, but I'll be gone.
Be showing out.
To the listening audience, you absolutely are going to have to go and watch that timestamp. I don't know what timestamp it is. Hey, what is that timestamp? Because good God Almighty, you got to come see Rebecca.
You know when you do the electric slide and you hit, but
somebody in the comment section, tell me what that timestamp is, because I want to specifically tell the podcast audience to go and see it. Oh man,
it's like doing the wobble. You add the extra little step in and a wobble.
Exactly. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll be gone.
But
that's when you throw it back real hard too. You be like, bye.
I'm trying my best to pull up to some cookouts this summer, but we're not going to be able to do it if these stupid people who got the biggest voices and the biggest platforms keep doing what they doing. Now, that said, if any of you are tired of Tucker Carlson, who is the most popular and the most watched viewer Fox News show in this country, you're going to enjoy
find
this
out
clip.
A scandal, actually, Ben. All you got to do is find the scandal, okay?
But they don't care. They don't care. Like, listen,
it has
they
to
got
be something. And I feel like Tucker Carlson cannot be as
something, y'all.
There is something under that boot of his, and we know. Like Fox is probably protecting it, but once it gets into the right hands, somebody that worked at Fox and Tucker disrespected you, talk about it.
Yes.
I know you guys talk about it because that man needs to be gone.
Let's talk
because it's you know it's hard for these people to keep their noses clean. Come on, it's out there. There's probably something out there, but
keep their noses clean. That right there itself tells us a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
That tells us a lot.
I wonder how much how white his nose gets.
Shouts out to Dr. Carl Hart because I don't think they're doing it responsibly. I don't think they're using responsibly.
Rebecca, go home. Wait, you're already home. Never mind.
It's too early. I'm on time. I'm on time today.
Oh, man. Yeah, to Infinite Content in the chat room, we said we need Ken Klippenstein to look into it. I think I might text my dude and be like, hey, do a freedom, dude, get somebody to leak to you about Fox News and Tucker Carlson. That said, if you need some catharsis, buckle up because Jon Stewart is all of us with regard to Tucker Carlson. Let's take a look at it.
I think you're a good comedian. I think your lectures are boring. Let me ask you a question on the news.
Now, this is theater. I mean, it's obvious. How old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So this is...
No, I know. You're right. No, let me just go. No, come on.
And listen, I'm not suggesting that you're not a smart guy because those are not easy to tie. But the thing is that you're doing theater when you should be doing debate, which would be great.
No, it's
not honest. What you do is not honest. What you do is partisan hackery. And I'll tell you why I know it.
You have John Kerry on your show, and you sniff his throne, and you're accusing us of partisan hackery?
Absolutely.
You've got to be kidding, man.
You're on CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you?
Well, I'm just saying, there's no reason for you, when you have this marvelous opportunity not to be the guy's butt boy, to go ahead and be his butt boy.
Yes,
It's embarrassing.
I was absolutely his butt boy. I was so far. You would not believe what he ate 2 weeks ago. You know, the interesting thing that I have is you have a responsibility to the public discourse. And you fail miserably.
School, I think.
You need to go to one. The thing that I want to say is, when you have people on for just knee-jerk, reactionary talk...
Wait, I thought you were going to be funny. Come on, be funny.
No, I'm not going to be your monkey. Go ahead. I watch your show every day, and it kills me.
I can tell you what.
It's so painful to watch. You know, because we need what you do. This is such a great opportunity you have here to actually get politicians off of their marketing and strategy. Yeah, it's someone who watches your show and cannot take it anymore. I just can't.
What's it like to have dinner with you? It must be excruciating. Do you lecture people like this? Or do you come over to their house and sit and lecture them and, they're not doing the right thing, that they're missing their opportunities, evading their responsibilities?
If I think they are.
Look, I wouldn't want to eat with you, man. That's horrible.
I know, and you won't. But the thing I want to get to...
We did promise naked pictures of the Supreme
Court. Yeah, we did. No. Let's get to those.
Why can't we just talk? Please, I beg of you guys.
I think you watch too much Crossfire. We're going to take a quick break.
No. Look,
hold on.
Please.
We've got commercials.
Please.
Next, Jon Stewart in the rapid fire.
Please
Hopefully
stop.
He'll be here. We hope. We think. And then, did U.S. soldiers refuse an order in Iraq?
Tucker Carlson said you need to teach a journalism school, and Jon Stewart said you need to go to journalism school. That was a wrap.
Whose show was it though? Whose show was it?
It was Tucker Carlson's show back in 2004 on CNN, and it got canceled because it wasn't working for him. It wasn't a good show.
It was on CNN.
It was on CNN. He got to start.
CNN had this man on the show.
Well, that's
this man with a show on CNN.
Well, he wasn't the full-blown, full-throated white supremacist that he is now, and he wasn't successful until he started being a white supremacist.
He still had that flip I was discussing a few days ago in the back, and it was strong right there. And now he got to cut down, and that's the one I kept saying. You guys don't see that flip in the back? It gives racism, but to see Tucker in that way. But he would. Now, what I can say about Tucker, and I ain't trying to say nothing, but that man was not about to let his stuff. He's like, listen, we going to go toe for toe. You are not about to keep reading me. But is that the man, and I keep always forgetting because it's been so long. Is that the man, Jon Stewart, that dated the woman?
No, you're thinking about Bill Maher.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for separating that from me. Because I wanted to know if I do like Jon Stewart, because or not. Like I wanted to make sure that
we don't.
Yeah.
You have to make sure. You have to make sure before you actually like the segment whether or not you like the part. That makes sense. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, most definitely. Look,
he had the show.
Tucker as he just screams white supremacist frat boy.
Oh my God! He screams. I fell. We possibly killed someone on a roof from being drunk, and my university covered it up. You will never know. We possibly raped somebody, and my university covered it up. You will never know. So he gives those vibes. Yes. And I hate to say that, but it does look like he gives those vibes. Yeah,
don't hate to say that, because that's probably the closest thing to reality. You guarantee you he comes from that. No. I ain't no guarantee. It's absolutely the truth. He comes from that echelon of society where their daddies get them out of trouble for doing stuff that most of us will spend the rest of our lives in jail for. So don't apologize for that. That's exactly where he comes from. And it took him a try at CNN. It didn't work out there. He tried MSNBC. It didn't work out there. And then he finally found his calling, which was to spew white supremacist conspiracy theories every single night on Fox News. And anyway, that's I just needed to watch that clip again. I watched it like 3 times yesterday, so y'all forgive me. I had to get that in there one more time. Anyway,
it's funny because Jon Stewart and Tucker Carlson. It's like Jon Stewart, and I remember Jon Stewart, but I stopped watching him for years now. That's why I got him mixed up with Bill Maher. So, but I stopped watching him, and I know that Jon Stewart has a little bit of, he's what Cuomo on CNN wants to be. They think that I got a little black in me kind of thing. So when I see him, but the thing is the way that he was coming at Tucker, y'all can't lie. Tucker was standing his ground in what he was saying. Even though it was stupid. It was stupid. It was dumb. It was empty. And it was childish what they were doing, both of them. But Jon Stewart was definitely reading him on his own show, and Tucker's
like, I thought you were going to be funny.
He does what he always does. He does what the other hosts on Fox News do, and that is definitely deflect, get very defensive, get very emotional, and they never give an opportunity to really share what their feelings are. They go into defense mode. They go into battle mode, and it's never clear and concise. It's like, at the end of the day, your opinion, maybe your opinion, your commentary, maybe your commentary, but help us understand why it's important to us. Instead of when it's only you on the show and you have your full monologues, when somebody else comes on the show, prepare yourself to say how you feel, whether or not the person agrees with it or not. I didn't get a sense of what he was trying to convey, except for let me fight you back. The same thing that they always do.
Well, he had nothing.
News. He had nothing, but that's the thing. They never have anything because they are so focused on themselves. They're so focused on how they feel individually. And not to say that we have to agree with the other side. We never do, but they will literally pull on kids, put on kids to think that kids are going to be on their team and try to fight the kids verbally when the kids don't agree, because they're used to just having folks on who agree with them and or they're doing their monologues and saying all their BS.
They can't handle any pushback.
They can't handle real people on the show, or people with actual feelings or opinions that are other than theirs, and who have backup for what they're saying. That's it.
James, do me a favor. Read that super chat from Infinite Content.
You gonna do it?
It's got to be read on air. It's got to.
Infinite Content says, by the way, have you all discussed old struggle edges? Candace getting the Daily Wire yet?
Y'all leave. It's Candace Owens. I'm sorry.
It's completely out of nowhere, but it's cloud. It's roasted with no context. But
is her edges the struggle, or is the ends of her hair the struggle? It's like, cut it out, girl. Let it grow. But she needs that white supremacy to be right there. Like me, I'm growing it out, so my ends are struggling, but I cut them off every time I get a wash. I cut them off because I'm like, I need to get that white supremacy up out of me. That perm, I need to get it out. Now let me stop playing. If y'all want to perm it, it's your hair. Perm it. Weave it. It doesn't matter. Do what you want. But Candace Owens, she
edges. Wow.
I can't say she's short. I haven't seen the edges. I haven't seen a pullback pony yet. Okay. I can't say because my edges are shaped like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. So I can't say too much on that.
Rebecca.
I can't say too much on that.
That's why she ain't want to talk about the girls.
I can't say too much on that.
You said like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
But like, because I got a widow's peak that just comes up in here and it makes the rest of my edges look like it's crazy.
She had to delineate. She delineated between them edges and them ends. Like
because I need to hold on tight to what I got. I can't be talking about too much now.
We got it, Dave. We're good. So I want to shift gears a couple more stories real quick before we go to the after party. Joe Biden, I've criticized Joe Biden a whole lot, and it's funny because I've taken a lot of heat because we opposed Donald Trump in the election, right? And a lot of people are, you oppose Donald Trump and you love Joe Biden. No, Donald Trump was obviously the destruction of this country, and we had to get rid of him. That said, there's a lot of questions as to whether or not we can actually push Joe Biden on his issues. At Biden's press conference on Wednesday, he also pushed for his $1.8 trillion American Families Plan. This proposal includes money that would allow Americans to attend community college without paying any tuition whatsoever, and also includes some modest tax increases on the wealthy. But I want us to take a look at this clip of how he made the case, because it is a really compelling message. Let's take a look.
If you notice, corporations aren't investing any money in research and development. Somewhere, what's most of it going to? Buying back their own stock dividends, which makes sense, leaving by some studies less than 10% for research, development, pay raises, etc. Used to be that not too long ago, for example, during the Bush administration, the tax rate for the very wealthy, making well over millions of dollars, was 39.6%. It's now 37%. Just raised it back to what it was before. It raises enough money from that savings to put every single person in community college who wants to go. Now, what's going to grow America more? What's going to help you and your security more? The super wealthy having to pay 3.9% less tax, or have an entire generation of Americans having associate degrees. That's why all the economists, even on Wall Street, are pointing out, guess what? It grows the economy, benefits everybody, hurts nobody. But now it's talk to the Wall Street Journal, talk about it as a welfare program. It's about growth. And so, the idea that it's just amazing. I mean, corporate taxes, they were 36%. Our administration, last administration, said we should lower it. We suggested it be lowered to 28%. Well, it's got lowered to 20% or 21%. Show me something that's benefited. What's happened? Show me where the growth is.
Now, notwithstanding the problem that he had with the math there, the message is clear that it is more important that we in the United States tax the wealthy in exchange for people being able to go to college for free. Now, he's only talking about community college right now, and we got to push him even more because community college is great. It's a great first step, but higher education at public schools should absolutely be free. And he's headed in that direction. But I love the fact that he put it side by side. What's going to help you more? Is it for millionaires to be able to keep this 3 whatever percentage he was working out there to keep that? Or for an entire generation of people to be able to get access to college education for free? Now, we mentioned this point, another point briefly on yesterday's show, but I also want to note that Joe Biden's administration, after receiving immense pushback and criticism that he broke a campaign promise, raised the refugee cap from 15,000, which is a historic low set by the Trump administration. He raised it to 62,500. Now, had President Biden lifted this admission cap for the Trump administration's restrictions sooner, there would be more asylum seekers who would have been able to get to the United States. That said, it is a move in the right direction. So the question that's on the table right now, Rebecca and James, if you look at not only he listened to the people in terms of immigration, in terms of asylum seekers, he's listening and he's pushing in terms of college education being free and taxing millionaires and billionaires. And we also already covered the fact that his administration is looking at waiving the patent to get the COVID vaccine to the global South. All those things said, I mean, these are good moves in the right direction. It's not set in stone. The devil's in the details. We got to see how it plays out and if he actually follows through. But it looks as though he is actually listening to the people who are pushing him. And that's a good sign. What do you think?
Who was he talking to when he said, close the economy? Who? Who's going to hear that? Who? Was the people in the back? Was the people on the side? Because it was only for people in the front row. Okay? Because he said, close the economy.
That math, he was like 3.2, that 3 point, what?
He was struggling with the math. But who was going to hear about closing the economy? Who was he talking to? What message was he trying to send there? Because I need you to be strong with that one. Close the economy. Because who was exactly? What you said, Bob? I couldn't hear it.
It took
the economy.
I couldn't hear. What that mean? I like what? Like help us understand. But no,
3, 5.
It took everything. It took every bit of everything.
I'm gonna need him to be a little louder and strong and a little bit more secure when he says close the economy.
With some
who you're benefiting when you say that because.
Man.
Because I need you to stand strongly. I need you to put a little preacher's voice in that. Close the economy. I need it to be like that.
Who was that? Wait. What clip was that last week? Oh, the cop. The cop who was in his car. The cop who was in his car with all that dramatic. I'm so tired.
I needed to be strong like that because who was gonna go with close? That's when you're saying something before the preacher's about to say something on the climax. That's that little thing, But then you gotta close the economy was supposed to be on the climax. That's where we was.
You gotta talk about. Hey, somebody said use the Kirk Franklin voice, and they're talking about the voice from him cussing.
For those of you who want to understand where you're gonna get the money, we need to do what? Close the economy.
Tiger in the chat talk about old man ASMR.
I saw that. Oh man.
Hey, who heard that? I need you to be a little stronger, President Joe Biden. But thank you. Thank you.
Man, it is a move in the right direction. I love the fact that we could give somebody props and have no respect for them whatsoever. Anyway, one more story. Y'all making it difficult to do these stories.
Let me read this story.
Yes, do that because I can't. I'm beside myself here. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay. On Wednesday, in a decision that could have major consequences for families nationwide, U.S. federal judge Dabney L. Frederick, a Trump appointee, overturned a nationwide CDC moratorium on evictions. Although local evictions moratoriums exist, these are largely a patchwork while the CDC's covers the entire country. Judge Frederick, I hope that's because that spelling is very interesting. Judge Frederick issued a ruling which agreed with the argument that the CDC overstepped its authority by extending the eviction moratorium, which was first included in the March CARES Act passed by Congress, to all residential properties nationwide. Biden's Department of Justice will appeal this decision. Trump's federal judge appointments may be the longest lasting and most malign part of his legacy as 45th president. These judges hold immense power with little chance of removing them. They will likely be in positions of authority until we're all very old and very gray. It's a long time. Meanwhile, Mitch McConnell has promised 100% obstruction on any and all of Joe Biden's legislative initiatives. Let's take a look.
Earlier today, there's been reports that Liz Cheney is kind of on the outs in the House. Are you going to do anything to help her compete for a leadership position? And are you concerned at the overall kind of trend in the Republican Party that acknowledging that the election is valid can threaten, I guess, your position of power?
Yeah, 100% of my focus is on stopping this new administration I think the best way to look at what this new administration is, the president may have won the nomination, but Bernie Sanders won the argument about what the new administration should be like. We're confronted with severe challenges from a new administration and a narrow majority of Democrats in the House and a 50-50 Senate to turn America into a socialist country, and that's 100% of my focus.
But isn't it a concern that a sizable chunk of the Republican base doesn't believe that this election was valid?
100% of my focus is on standing up to this administration. What we have in the United States Senate is total unity from Susan Collins to Ted Cruz in opposition to what the new Biden administration is trying to do to this country.
Does this remind you of anything? Here's Mitch McConnell back in 2009 promising to do everything in his power to stop the newly minted Obama administration.
Over the past week, some have said it was indelicate of me to suggest that our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term. But the fact is, if our primary legislative goals are to repeal and replace the health spending bill, to end the bailouts, cut spending, and shrink the size and scope of government, the only way to do all of those things is to put someone in the White House who won't veto any of these things.
They never like nobody. Responding to his comments, White House press secretary had this to say.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said this morning, when asked about kind of the issues within his own party, that, quote, 100% of my focus is on stopping this new administration. And he touted kind of the unity within his caucus from Susan Collins to Ted Cruz. Are you concerned that it will be difficult to work with Republicans when you have these kinds of statements coming from their leader?
Well, I guess the contrast for people to consider is 100% of our focus is on delivering relief to the American people, on getting the pandemic under control and putting people back to work. And we welcome support, engagement, and work with the Republicans on that. And the president has extended an open arm to that. The door to the Oval Office is open. He's invited Senator Capito to bring a group of her choosing to the White House next week. And we think there is opportunity for agreement to deliver on relief to the American people.
So what are Republicans' guiding principles? Even Joe Biden, who often touted his friendships and strong relations with Republicans over the years, has no idea. Here's what he had to say about what he thinks guides the Republican Party at yesterday's press conference.
President Biden, you said earlier you don't understand Republicans. What does it say about them if they oust Liz Cheney from leadership for telling the truth about the election?
Look, it seems as though the Republican Party is trying to identify what it stands for. And they're in the midst of a significant sort of mini revolution going on in the Republican Party. I've been a Democrat for a long time. We've gone through periods where we've had internal fights and disagreements. I don't ever remember any like this. And so, as one of you said, and I'm not embarrassed by identifying them, as one of you said on national television last night, we badly need a Republican Party. We need a two-party system. It's not healthy to have a one-party system. And I think the Republicans are further away from trying to figure out who they are and what they stand for than I thought they would be at this point.
So I want to say this. There are a few things from all the videos that we played that raise questions and awareness. But with Mitch McConnell, see, he has this thing with the presidents that he doesn't like, and when he wants to speak up, he's such a hypocrite. But when he gets on and he says things like, you know, it was Bernie Sanders who did X, Y, and Z, and I'm trying to turn this thing into a socialist. And Ben, as someone who considers himself a socialist, how did you feel about Mitch McConnell saying that he wanted to step into that socialist train and get everybody to be on that? How did you feel about that? Because it's very interesting.
He was, so Mitch McConnell, and that's the reason those clips tell a very definitive story of the impact of these elections, right? Because the first thing that you talked about, Rebecca, was about how it was an appointee. It was a Trump appointee who is now overturning the CDC's ban on evictions during this pandemic, right? And so that's a real material, tangible. You asked me about my socialism. Like, this is a real material detriment to the American people. There are so many people who don't have the money to pay their rent right now, and they have been protected by the CDC's moratorium on evictions. And now with a Donald Trump appointee overturning that, there are going to be people out on the streets in the middle of a pandemic having to go and live in homeless shelters, which is going to start spread the pandemic even more. And then you talked about Mitch McConnell, those two clips from Mitch McConnell. In the midst of a pandemic, his only goal is to stop Joe Biden, which was his same goal in 2009 to stop Barack Obama. You know what I mean? And so what he was saying in context of like Joe Biden may have won, but Bernie Sanders won the conversation. Well, that's because it's just human decency. Socialism ain't some big scary thing. It's basically saying people have basic needs and we make enough money in this country, all of us together, to make sure that people's basic needs are met. So, I mean, Mitch McConnell, like, you know, and it's just their priorities are to hurt us. And I can't make that any clearer. Those clips that you played they can't make it any clearer. Donald Trump got elected, and because Donald Trump got elected, he appointed this judge who has now made a decision that's going to cause thousands of people, probably into the hundreds of thousands, because so many people are out of work right now. It's going to cause them to be put on the street. That's a real consequence. And I'm not a Joe Biden supporter, but damn it, if that 2016 election where Donald Trump got into power did not have very direct detrimental effects on people's lives right now. And then for Joe Biden, my number one criticism of Joe Biden is this. He thought that he could negotiate with these people. He thought that he could get bipartisanship with these people. And so to hear him at the very end of that last clip, he said Republicans are a lot further off than I thought that they would be at this point. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. But I need you to remember that.
Yeah, I need him to remember that, but, you know, say it a little louder as well. But it was for him saying that we, you know, when he says things, and I just feel like, you know, if we needed the Republicans to be what they are, we needed them to be strong. If we needed them, then we would not be fighting for people to be Democrats. Don't waste my damn time. Like we wouldn't be fighting for people to be something else, right? If we needed this. And yes, we always have to have different people in the conversation. It can't be just a two-party system then if we're going to talk about having opposition or having people who disagree or having different point of views. We need all kinds of different folks. Well, but Democrats there are some Democrats who don't even stand and don't even go with Democratic ways. They're very conservative with their views, or they're very free, more free than a Democrat would like to be, you know. So when we bring that conversation, now it becomes broader. You're saying a two-party system, and you're saying that they've started a revolution. Now you're actually giving them, they're looking like, and they're hearing, he recognizes that we have gotten stronger. He recognizes that we are not to be messed with, and we can start a revolution. They do like that type of rhetoric. So as the president, like, I need you to really be speaking on the party that you represent. And say, you know what, the Republicans have, like you said, that particular statement where he basically said something against the Republicans, but I need more of that. Like, we don't need the view of we are the world. We don't need that between, we don't need that between Republicans and Democrats right now, because Republicans have done so much wrong. Why should we stand with the wrong and ignore the right? Shouts out to Adele. Why will we do that? We can't settle for that. We have to keep fighting for what is right, because the people who represent the Republican Party, the majority, are people who don't want to see Black folks win. Say that when we call out policing, we're not being patriotic. When we're calling out any injustice, when we're calling out pay gaps and all these things, they believe isn't right. So, transgenders, they believe that they shouldn't get any health care. Like, let's really talk about what's really happening. So if we're saying that they're starting a revolution, we're telling them that they're gearing up, they're powering up, they're, getting all their one-ups, like to definitely build to become something bigger and stronger than the force that is fighting them to win for justice. So let's fix these conversations between our leaders. They got to start understanding, like, your words matter in this particular time. Your platform matters big time. This is not just you appearing at a press conference and going back to the White House. Like, this is like people are watching you. Whatever you say will go viral. It will play a million times if it has to. We will dissect it piece by piece with the tone of voice, with your body stature, with anything. Like when we saw with Mitch McConnell, we knew we can call bullshit right there because it wasn't real. Like he's just saying the same thing that he always says when it's somebody in power that he doesn't like, and that's it. So
then the other side of that is though, thank you for putting it in that context, Rebecca, because Joe Biden, while he says he sees that they're far off and that's actually progress for him, he doesn't see that he has to fight back at the same level that they're fighting him. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say underneath that is that he's giving them credit for a revolution. Where Joe Biden, where's your revolution to fight back against them? Because they, when Mitch McConnell said our goal over the next 4 years was to stop Barack Obama, like they really did stop Obama after Obamacare. Like they crushed all of his appointees. That's why Donald Trump has been able to get, I think he's appointed 1/3 of the federal judiciary. Like that's unheard of, but that's because Mitch McConnell stopped Barack Obama. They didn't stop him from becoming a 2-term president, but they stopped him from getting Merrick Garland on the bench. They do all these radical and revolutionary from their perspective things. And it's not enough for Joe Biden to just say, they're far off. That's a first step, but you're right. He's got to absolutely change his language as well as his intensity of the fight. The question I want to know is he going to go after the filibuster? Is he going to end since he knows who they are now, is he going to go after the filibuster to protect voting rights across this country? Because Republicans are attacking that as well. So no, you're absolutely right. Actually, we got this clip, and this is I jumped in there because I want to play this. This is from Florida, all of our stomping ground. This just happened on Fox and Friends. Governor DeSantis just signed into law a voter suppression bill. And you got to remember, Florida went to Donald Trump. Elections have consequences. Andrew Gillum was the Democratic nominee. He lost that race to Ron DeSantis. And now they are making sure that Black folks can't get out and vote at the level that we have been voting in the last few elections. But he did it. And it all comes together. He did it on Fox News just a few minutes ago. We got the clip. Let's take a look at it.
You're doing the same thing. What's going to be different about Florida's election in 2022? What are you about to sign?
So right now I have what we think is the strongest election integrity measures in the country. I'm actually going to sign it right here. It's going to take effect. So there you go. Bill is signed. And here's what it does.
It's over there in Palm Beach. I'm from Palm Beach County. Right. It always has to be somewhere where I'm from, where the BS is happening. It was a Cuban back there. I will vote Donald Trump. It's ridiculous. They are all, it's just like that. And that Cuban person was their diversity in the room. So, and I really, when I see stuff like that and the fact that, you see what I'm saying? That's what they're playing.
That's how they play. Exactly.
Let me tell you something. DeSantis said, you know what? I be going viral a lot. I don't need to just do a press conference like that. I'm pulling up on Fox. Let's make it big. Let's do a party around this around this legislature. Let's make sure we let these people know that we coming with fire. So he gets on there. He makes it such a big thing. Got his clan behind him. And then while that's happening, what's happening in the background, Ben? Because while that's happening, while Ron DeSantis is being real loud, you can't hear what Joe Biden's saying. The economy. When then Ron DeSantis is like, I am about to make all y'all Black folks not vote. Your vote can't count. Right. Thank you.
When they screaming right there, woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And it suppressing.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. They will make sure, they see how strong we can get this. And you never really see Ron DeSantis do anything like that, but he said, I'm pulling up on Fox. Let's make it a party. Let's make sure we let people know what's good. That's what I'm saying. Come with that same fervor, Joe Biden. I know you can see he's old right now. You can see that he just pull up to the White House, have a press conference right there, have Jill on the side, drinking her little tea, you know what I'm saying? Like, and make it something. Let the people hear what you really have to say. When it has to be about the Black issues, don't pull Kamala into the mix. We haven't seen her in a minute. And then when you pull her into the mix, she's talking about America ain't racist. We don't need that. We don't need that. Like,
facts
come with the same fervor.
Facts.
Hustling backwards.
Facts. Hustling. God, dog, that's a good one, Jay. That's the hustling backwards ass.
Hustling
anyway,
backwards.
So we're going to give you a little piece of this story, this next story, because we were going to do it in the post game, but it really ties right into Governor DeSantis. And then we'll jump over to the after party. You can get access to the after party by becoming a Patreon, patreon.com/like it or not. Arizona is holding tight to their election fraud claims. There's a video of Dennis Welch, who's an official who is helping oversee the audit. And I want you to listen to how far these people are willing to go in order to find some way to overturn the election that we just got out of, that elected Joe Biden as president of the United States. They are not done with this yet. Let's take a look at this clip.
You start over. The other day at the press conference, you were talking about bamboo. What was that about?
Well, is that there's accusations that 40,000 ballots were flown in.
To Arizona?
Into Arizona, and it was stuffed into the box, okay? And it came from the southeast part of the world, Asia, okay? And what they're doing is to find out if there's bamboo in the paper. That camera right there, that they take a picture of the ballot, they can really look at depth and find out, is it a hand-marked paper ballot? Because it's a 5K camera. You can see the folds in the ballot because 92% of all the ballots here should have been folded because they came in through an envelope. Okay, and so they're doing all sorts of testing to prove if it was or wasn't, and that's very important because the only way you can persuade people on changing is having facts, and we're on a mission for facts. And I'm Audit Elections USA, and what we do is not about the right or left. Audit is an acronym. It stands for Americans United for Democracy, Integrity, and Transparency in Elections. We've been around 17 years. We work all over the country for the last 5 years. I'm in litigation in Florida. I've sued in Alabama, I negotiated in Virginia, I sued in Ohio, and I've been in 18 states just working elections. And I all started because of the Bernie Sanders election in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. I'm the guy who sued the whole state.
Now, he said a whole lot there, right? But he slid in there something so ridiculous that the reporter had to circle back. He slid in there about asking, like, what does bamboo have to do with this allegation that there were ballots that were flown over from Southeast Asia? If you don't see it yet, you'll see it here. Let's play this clip.
So what does the bamboo, why do you check for bamboo?
Because they use bamboo in their paper processing.
Who's they?
People in Southeast Asia.
So that you feel like
that's what they say.
40,000 ballots have been.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that. Okay. I'm just saying that is part of the mystery that we want to ungaslight people about, and this is a way to do it.
This is part of what you're looking at.
I'm not. They are.
Wow.
I'm here as an observer and a professional in elections for the last 17 years.
I don't know, my guy. Y'all, they're looking for bamboo in the paper because it came from Southeast Asia. And
so what they say.
The bamboo in the paper, and that's how they're going to prove whether or not there were ballots flown in from. This is still going on right now. Y'all, what month is this? I'm lost. We're in May. The election.
Damn.
The election was over in November. The president was inaugurated, and he won definitively. Donald Trump is still saying that he won, and this is why. The clip we just watched of Governor DeSantis, this is why they're going over and above to suppress our votes. Because if they can't steal this last election, then they say, well, what we got to do is just stop black folks from voting. And underneath all of that is just the casual racism of saying, oh, hey, if we find bamboo in the paper, that means they were flown in from Asia.
It was from China.
It's Asian paper.
China.
But they don't realize that China.
Exactly. It was definitely flown in from China, and that's why it tells us that there was some voter issues there, and we're our audit stands for Americans United.
Let me make a correction real quick. It isn't. I said in the as I was describing it, I called him Dennis Welch, but it's actually John Brakey. Sorry about that. The video came from Dennis Welch, but the guy who was talking, and I don't care how nice your acronym is, Americans United.
Is that really what audit stands for, or he just was doing that as something clever?
That's just something clever to make his name sound. Yeah.
Americans United in Defense and Tranquility. Yeah. I made that up, but I feel like that's what he said.
He had an E in there somewhere that says audit T.
Oh,
he had an E in there at the end of that. It's like, what the hell?
Lord.
It was ridiculous.
All I know is that they are going to levels that they would overturn this election if they found a little splinter of bamboo. They would try to go through.
Straight from China. It has Russia. It has Russian connections. There is no way you can't tell me that this didn't come from
China,
Guantanamo Bay. Like, this is something that is located straight in Africa, and then
the Martians flew these in.
And in the Caribbean, they want people are asking for reparations and things. And then you're right. It's aliens. Then we just seen the last footage coming around. So
aliens united,
extraterrestrial. It's extraterrestrial things happening. So
that's information technology.
It's so much going on.
Dropping off ballots.
Ooh, and then those black people.
Oh man,
back to the black folks and the Black
We're
Lives Matter
laughing,
movement.
y'all. We're laughing because you got to laugh for not crying, and because it's so stupid. It's a level of stupidity we can't help but laugh. But Governor, based on that type of thinking, in Arizona, Governor DeSantis just signed into law a voter suppression bill that he put a nice spin on it, just like the guy, John Brakey did. Like, it's for integrity. And then Governor DeSantis said, oh, it's for integrity. Meanwhile, it's suppressing black people and brown people's votes all across the country. And and then he did it on Fox News.
Oh, it's a party. It's a party. Okay. That's what he wanted it to be. He wanted it to come in and make sure he made a statement. He wanted to, and he is taking advantage of the platform.
Yeah.
Fox News is ratings is shooting up, whether it's people who like the network or don't like or hate it. They're going to watch, whether it's through Twitter, whether it's people reposting. He's going to make sure he knows that he will go viral for this moment, and then it's going to reach those Republicans who don't even watch TV. It's going to reach the masses. They know that this is the effect of
But here's the other thing. Here's the other side of it. The news media was barred from going into the signing of that law. So while Governor DeSantis was signing that law, he wouldn't let any other news media in there because he wanted to give Fox News an exclusive.
The exclusive.
We're outgunned, and we're not outgunned in terms of ideas and being correct and having the backbone to fight. We're outgunned because we don't have the money and the resources, and we don't have the platforms. And I'm sorry, MSNBC is just not doing it. They're not getting it done. CNN sure as hell isn't getting it done. Fox News is running up the damn scoreboard on us, and it has real implications. People are dying.
It used to be a joke, and now it really used to be a joke. Like at one point, it was just very Republican, very conservative, very whatever. Then they started doing whatever, and they used to be like, "Oh, Fox News is just a joke," and whatever. We used to literally ride them in. Now they have literally built power after
serious power.
Donald Trump's ended his presidency. Come on, y'all. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
It literally does not make sense. But that said, one of the things that we're doing here, we're getting ready to go to the after party. We gave you guys the public show extra 30 minutes here. And we're going to the after party. It's for patrons and Twitch subscribers, patreon.com/like it or not. We're going to keep the show going. That said, what has to be built? Real story, real talk. We have to have platforms that can compete with Fox News. Even if it's not with Fox News in totality, we have to start getting numbers along the lines of Tucker Carlson. We have to, because they're talking to too many people for our message. And when I say our, I'm talking about like progressives in general, like people who generally just care for humanity. I don't care how you identify. I don't care if you call yourself a liberal, a progressive, a socialist, a communist. I don't care. There are those of us who are fighting on behalf of humanity. And y'all, we ain't get no numbers. I absolutely love TYT. I'll be on there tomorrow. I love Roland Martin. His show, I'll be on there again Tuesday. But combined, you can combine all of independent media, and we're nowhere even near touching what Fox News is doing. And we got to innovate, and we have to start fighting back, which means we need your support. We need you to go become patrons. And even if it's not of this show, which I expect fully that the people who are hearing this message, you become a patron of our show, but support somebody's independent media, because mainstream media ain't doing it. Do y'all honestly think MSNBC is going to be able to fight back against Fox News? They're not. They haven't. They don't want to. They're incapable of doing it. We need you to become a patron of this show in particular, because we're going to continue to grow this platform. We are going to continue to speak truth to power. We're going to be the premier morning show. The vision that I had for this show, it is still coming to pass. I know we've had some setbacks, and we need your support now more than ever. But if you watch this episode and you see every single thing that we've been talking about, we've laughed about it, but y'all, this is a full-on battle.
Yes.
This is a full-on war. And the people who are speaking the most truth to power, like us, we got to get these numbers up, and we can't do it without you. Patreon.com/like it or not. We need you today. And then in the meantime, you get to come to the after party. Oh, and in the meantime, you get to come to the patron party tomorrow night. I want a full house tomorrow night. I want at least 100 patrons, at least 100 patrons to show up tomorrow night, because we already have 140 patrons for the morning show. So shout out to everybody who became a patron.
And let the numbers just rise. Let it rise. You know, we're looking for, our goal is to get to 500. So definitely right now, yes, if you guys are right, like a phoenix from the ashes, baby. If you're watching right now, please, right now, go to patreon.com/like it or not and become a Patreon. Get your friend, your best friend, I told you, your food bae, your side bae, whoever, to just have a $5 a month, whatever you want to do, it's fine. But just become a Patreon, because not only because you love our content, because you support it. And you want us to definitely be at the forefront of the conversations instead of the rhetoric that you're getting from Fox News, which is divisive, which is misinformation, and very destructive. So definitely just help us continue the conversation and the movement, and to speak truth to power. That's right here. I'm like it or not.
And one last thing, James, before you take us to the after party, thanks for the reminder in the chat room. They said, don't forget about Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, which, okay, listen, we know Jeff Bezos is the devil, right? But a lot of y'all still have Amazon Prime. Totally get it. Use that over on twitch.tv. Go to twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon, and you can get access to all of the stuff that we're talking about, the patron parties, the after party, all of that. And it doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you a dime. It takes $5 away from Jeff Bezos, and it sends it to us. So even if you don't want to spend money out of your pocket and you have Amazon Prime, it costs you nothing to go over there and support this show. That said, DJ Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive, take us to the after party.
Hi guys, love you, mean it.
We will see y'all tomorrow, y'all. We thank y'all so much for tuning in today. We thank y'all so much, y'all. Make sure that you go join us, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not, y'all. Make sure that you follow us on social media, Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook, Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook. We'll see y'all in the morning. After party, here we come. Let's go. When I get you back, oh yeah, I promise you'll never leave.